Hello again in this installment of Spiritual Wisdom. I'm grateful to all of you following me here and of this little community here on YouTube. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you're doing well. My name is Nicholas. And on my channel I talk about witchcraft, Wicca, paganism, self-love, crystals and their magical properties, as well as plants and their magical properties, and I also do readings on the channel, and I talk about all matter of philosophical and spiritual topics. So if you're interested in those types of things, you know what to do, please subscribe, click the bell icon to be notified each time I upload a new video, and this is a safe place if you're practicing witch, Wiccan, pagan, or whatever spiritual path you may be on, because there's no right or wrong spiritual path, there's just the path that's right for you, the individual. Now today I'm going to be talking about the two career paths. Now in this world we live in, there are many ways to make money what are above board, meaning there's ways you can make money what are not going to put you in a jail cell or a prison cell. But the way I look at it, like, there really are two ways to make money. So like there's a matrix job. Now the matrix meanings, though it was a film, there's shades of truth in the matrix, but I would say the world we live in is a matrix. There are many delusions. Like one of the delusions, as human beings, we see things, because we're in a third dimensional world, we see objects as maybe a physical thing, like those, like crystals, to us they're like a stone or an object, what we can physically touch. But what really is happening there is our energy is interacting with the crystal's energy. Or if we see like this object here, we see it with our physical eyes, we can touch it, and it feels like, and everything feels physical, but everything's really just energy as well. And then a matrix job is like, society will tell you what you, a matrix job is a job that society relies upon. So like we do need it to some extent, or sometimes it's not even a job that's needed, it's more society wants that job for people to be in that industry for their own comfort, for example. And I'm guilty of it too, but like if you think of a coffee shop, like a lot of us, we love to go to a coffee shop, you know, get a coffee, get a lovely cake or a lovely sweet treat, and there's nothing wrong with that per se, but at the end of the day it's like someone has to be in that industry, that job, if, you know, in order for cafes to continue working, being a thing, someone has to serve the product, the food, to people. Now, it's all well and good that if the individual who's serving the food, the drinks, loves and enjoys what they're doing. But most people who are in that line of work, they do not love and enjoy what they're doing. Same with like some people, they may work in some type of, like they may work for the council. Okay, some people are like in a job where they're helping other people with like their benefits and things like that. Some people it's more, they're in a council job but they're like looking out for people who are fraudsters or fraud in the system, and they're taking money off certain people. So there's some jobs where, you know, if you help people get their money, their benefits, if you're in that line of work, there's a lot of the public are going to praise you. But if you're, you know, taking money off people or taxing people and all that, yeah, you're going to get a lot of public abuse. So you're just not going to be liked for the job you do. Same with like, even if you're like a police officer, like that is a job that's needed. But like we do need police to some extent, because police symbolise like law and authority, and we do need people in certain job. We do need like laws, authority to protect us. But at the end of the day, what I'm getting is there's jobs out there what are needed by society to keep society going, functioning, and the way it is. And there'll always be somebody in somewhere capacity in these jobs. But what makes it a matrix job by and large, if you feel like a cog in a machine and you don't love, and you'll start to feel like a cog in a machine, like you feel like I need to work here, or I'm doing it because you think you've got no other choice. So the first career path, as you like, is a matrix job. And what makes it a matrix job, meaning you're part of the system, you're part of the world, and you're in the big, you know, big delusion as well, is what you hate the job you're in. you hate the job you're in, and it causes you a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and like the job you're in, it pays you enough to kill your dreams, but you show up every day, and the only positive bit about going to a job you hate is it gives you something to do. But it's like, yeah, you show up for the job, you've got somewhere to go, but and yeah, you might make money, but might help you in the long run. But as you continue doing this job and you pay your taxes and what if you get what you need to survive, like your messages and all that, and if you're lucky, you might have some spare money to get some comforts. But the job you're in, you don't find it satisfying. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your soul, and that doesn't mean because it's not good for you as a person, but it isn't valued, the job you do, because society does value it in some way or capacity. But it's a matrix job, and that's the first choice. And a lot of people, some people, who are spiritual content creators, are very spiritual people, before they started their spiritual career or that, they might have been in a job for 10 years, but they hated the job. They found it soul destroying. They found it soul destroying, but they stayed, and they might have experienced bullying from certain people in a job, but they stayed in the job because of money, and because there were some privileges. Like, you worked in that job, and even though it was soul destroying, it was so stressful, and it was so soul destroying as well. And as a psychic reader, like, I've never been in that situation where I've been in a job where I showed up to this job but I hated, and I keep doing it out of fear and to get, breadcrumbs, meaning I'm showing up to get the money what I'm getting paid, which, and yeah, the money, even if someone was to say, Nicholas, but because of who I am now, I would say maybe there'd be a point in my life if I did get offered some devilish deal, is what I would call it, a devilish deal, where somebody said, we'll give you this job and it does suck and all that, but the money we're giving you is really good money. Like, let's say for example it was £4,000, but people at work for the most part don't get like £45,000. So if someone was to say to me now, take this job, Nicholas, what is, yeah, it's not a great job and all that, but for doing this job you get £45,000. You can keep your £45,000. That's how I'd feel, because as a psychic reader, as a spiritual person, there are places where I go what are not very high vibrational places. Like, and a lot of us are psychic readers or spiritual people. We might go to places that draw us in, but have a nice vibe. Like, I love going to Starbucks. I do love going to Greg's. There's many cafes that I do love to go to and sit in, and just read my favourite book, drink my beverage. I love doing that, and sometimes I do get that energy though. Sometimes the people who work in the job, they love the job, but I also feel some people, I feel like their pain as if it's my own, and then I feel like their sadness and depression, I do feel it as well. So that, when you're in a job and you hate the job you're doing, but you're staying there out of fear, out of convenience, that is the first path. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's the first career path. The second, but it's not an easy career path. Yes, there's pros and cons, but it isn't easy to show up for a job every day what's destroying your soul. It's not easy to do that. But what makes people do it is the pros, because like they'll go, right, if I'm working in this job, then I'll get some time off, and then with my wages I can go like a holiday and all that. And then like you may go on holidays a lot if you work, and that may be the thing that makes you want to keep doing it. You get time off for work, then whatever money you've got, you go these holidays, but you're not going on holiday to enjoy yourself, you're going as a form of escapism as well. And it's its own thing. Like, I do have opinions on it and I've felt it off other people, but I do feel like people are in that situation, or if any of you are in that situation right now, you understand what I'm talking about much better because you're in the midst of it. And it is hard, and there's some rewards, if you like, in that situation. Now, the next career path, it's like a two-way crossroads. You can walk that way and keep walking that way, or you can walk a new way. Okay? So the other career path in life is doing what you love for a living. And it isn't easy doing what you love for a living, but it is rewarding, because if you do what you love, it glows you up, it excites you, it glows you up, and it brings you so much joy, happiness. And then it's like you're making money on your terms. Like, you will make money, but for you it's like doing what you love first, and then the money comes from what you love doing. And then you don't feel like you're working, because if you love the work you're doing, then you, and it's a true saying, if you love what you're doing, if you love the job you're doing, then you'll never work a day in your life. Because love is such a high vibration, as is joy. So like when you're in that state of love and joy, you're on the right career path as well. But it isn't easy. For example, like I've got a good friend, who's great at making jewellery. They're practicing much with me, but they're great at making jewellery. They make a lot of beautiful crystal jewellery. They're very good at drawing. They're very good at painting. They make a lot of stuff. And yeah, they have sold some of that stuff to friends, to family. But, you know, and just like me, they were able to work in a shop and get their products sold for a time. But then once Francis, the person we worked with, they had to give up the shop for personal reasons, because it was very stressful for her, and it just, she had to close that chapter of life, and we understood that. Um, we were still going to do what we loved doing, but we had to go about it in our own way. And it's like, my friend, like, she would have to cut through some red tape, meaning she would have to go to events, and sometimes you need certain licenses to go to events, what you need to pay for, or cut through red tape as I call it, as well. So sometimes it's finding the people who are interested in your product, or people are interested in that as well. But it's rewarding, but it still comes with its challenges, is what I'm saying, when you do what you love for a living. Then if you're a psychic reader, now, as I've said, we're all psychics, some more than others, but when you do it as a living, when you do psychic readings for a living, there are red tape you have to cut through. Like, if you're very lucky, you may have the money to rent a shop or to buy your own shop. Both options are good. If you're lucky to do that, like, you can, and then people come into your shop, they can book in or walk in for a reading, that's great. But not every reader, like, there's a lot of readers I know who don't have that opportunity, and I'm just one of many. But currently, like, I would love to rent a shop out and, like, decorate it and all that, but maybe in the future, but I'm not there yet. Can manifest that maybe in the future somewhere, but that's not me at the moment. But a lot of readers I know, like, the positive is, like, in this modern age of technology, there's a lot of readers I know, they've created a beautiful website, and you can, like, go on their website and get a reading from them. Or some readers, and something I'm looking into is, like, but I'll have to cut through some red tape, which is, and in this case the red tape is like getting a license to do it, paying for an entertainment license. Like, I want to go to events and, like, do readings and things like that for people, because I love doing what I do and it does help people, and the money I make from it just allows me to buy more books, more crystals, just to further my knowledge as well. And to me, I love knowledge, I love to learn, and I love, and to me, people have got a different interest in different things, but for me, like, I love witchcraft, I love magic, and I just love learning more and more about it. And also when it comes to, like, the psychic world, spiritual things, I love learning as much as I can. And there's always something new to learn when it comes to witchcraft, magic, and spiritual things. But that's the second career path, doing what you love. And it's rewarding, it's joyful, it's fun, but it isn't easy, because there's red tape to cut through. If because you have to find events, you have to, find events, and to do what you love. It's the same with, many, in this day and age, artists in the past went through a lot of struggles, but even today, being an artist has its pros and cons. But, because if you make beautiful art, you need to, you want other people to enjoy your masterpieces, and also you need to find venues, cut through certain red tape to, get it. So everything in life, both paths come with their pros and cons. But the only difference is one destroys your soul, which is like if you are in a job but you hate the job you're in, then it's going to destroy your soul and your health in the long run. The other one lights your soul up like it's a fire, and like we've all got a fire in us, but if you do what you love for a living, then that awakens your fire, it awakens your soul and brings joy and fulfillment to your soul. It just adds joy, happiness, and it expands. Now, the word I'd like to live in personally, I'd like to live in a world where people are doing what they love for a living. That is the world I would like to live in as well. And I know people, like my partner, for example, he loves anime, and anime's, there's lots of people that love anime and it's a big thing. But like when we went to a big anime event, what was great at the event was it blended our interests together. Like there was some spiritual stuff at the anime event, but there was also non-spiritual things at the event, like anime themed stuff. He bought a lot of anime themed stuff as well, and then there was some spiritual stuff, but I was drawn to it. He bought me as well. But what I loved about it was the energy, and it's like people were actually selling anime products and stuff, but you could feel the energy, but they actually loved what they were doing. And yeah, there were struggles with what they were doing, but you just felt this energy of everyone who's selling their stuff or selling these anime products. They loved and enjoyed what they were doing as well, and they may have done this at other events, venues, but you could feel that people are actually, and like my partner did buy some like anime cups, but were like handmade. They were like handmade anime cups, some of them, or there were some handmade anime products, and it's like he bought them off people who he was drawn to the product, he liked it, and he bought them, so he was supporting someone, and he was supporting what he was interested in as well, anime, and just he was really giving money to people who are selling and doing what they love for a living as well. And in a way, so that's the type of world I'd like to live in. And it's a wonderful energy to feel as a spiritual person when you see someone who is doing what they love for a living as well. And that's what world I would like to live in. But I know there's always going to, because the way the world, knowledge is the thing that helps us change. Okay? And a lot of people, they stay in their current situation because they don't know any better. They don't know what opportunities are out there. Or fear. Fear is the biggest thing that keeps people stuck. Because people are going, right, I hate my job, but this job I'm in is comfortable. And nothing good happens in your comfort zone. Nothing good. So people, if someone was in, lying on a nail bed, and that would have its pros and cons, but if someone was in deep discomfort, but because they're familiar with the deep discomfort, and it's familiar to them, and it's not nice, but because it's comfortable, the individual would stay there out of fear. And some people, they were having a really dark night of the soul, because there's people who I've met or people I've known who are spiritual people now, but it's like they were in jobs they hated for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and it's only after 20, 15 years they realised now, they knew deep inside what they wanted to do, what they loved for a living, but because of fear and negative thoughts were living rent-free in their head, they stuck in that comfortable situation. But then when once they've been in this job for 15, 20, 10 years and they give it up, they wish what they're doing now as a spiritual person, or what they're doing, or there's people I've spoke to but are doing what they love for a living, or people I've listened to their stories, and people that are doing what they love for a living now, they wish they'd done that to start with, And that's what I would really advocate. Do what you love, and the money will come second, And it's possible to do what you love in life, to help others, to do something you really love and enjoy, and make money out of it. Like my good friend, they are struggling right now, and they do sometimes feel like giving up, but I've always told my good friend to keep persevering, to keep going. And like, I love a lot of my friend, they show me their jewellery, and like, if I'm drawn to certain pieces, I do buy their jewellery, because there's pieces that I'm drawn to, and I know when I'm allowing my friend to do what they love, I'm helping that my friend continue doing their work as well. So that's my message. It's like the two swords, like, there are two pathways you could go. It's like you're in the middle, and then you can go that way, which is the path you know and you're familiar with, which is sticking to the job you hate. The other one, which is doing what you love for a living, very rewarding, very good for your soul, but also comes with its pros and cons. There's the only difference between them is one is soul destroying, one is soul rewarding. That's the only difference as well. So, as always, these are the two career paths in life as well. As always, I hope it brings some guidance, some comfort, and as always, giving food for thought. Till next time, stay safe, look after yourself, walk your spiritual path with pride, and if your path is much may stay with you. May meet, may part, meet again. Blessed be.